Can I add to that? Have you got anyone in mind for the film?
Oh yes, if anybody in the audience is from the film industry, film rights will be considered. However, there's one proviso, that I want the young Steve Brook to be played by Russell Crowe.
No.
Otherwise, I'm not interested. Not interested.
Right next, there you go.
Larry.
I don't know if you all know, but Steve has an extraordinary library, particularly in the back part of his house, and I hope that one day we will. But what I want to know is, if you were being exiled somewhere, which one magazine or book would you choose to take with you out of that vast pile?
I've actually...
I think I know what you've got in mind.
Young girls, bottoms and breasts.
No, not that one.
No, that's turned the bus a long time ago. China reconstructs after the death of Mao Zedong.
Which issue?
The issue that shows... Look, I don't know the actual number of it, but it shows the mourners at the Mao Zedong funeral, a whole long line of them, like a mouthful of teeth almost, except for the gaps in the teeth, where members of the Gang of Four had been airbrushed out. It's really quite an amazing bit of political obviousness, I think. And that's what I was talking about. That's what I'm talking. That's what you're thinking of. Yeah.
Right. Your turn.
Same question more on behalf of Rod. Are there any cities in Poland that have trams? Because I think we saw some insularity before, and we could get him to go to Poland.
It also has trams. Most of the major cities do have trams.
Yeah. But do you mean you have to go by tram, Rob, to somewhere? Back?
No, you won't get a tram from Swanson Street to the Warsaw. No.
That's what he means, isn't it?
No.
He means you can
And
go.
I think you're highly unlikely to find blokes with chickens on sticks in Warsaw trams.
Anybody else? Before I attend the meeting, etc. No, no, you do. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
Carmel.
Oh, sorry, yes, Carmel.
Why did you go to Poland to do such a tour of the anti-Semitic?
I could spend the next 3 or 4 hours answering that. Poland is no more anti-Semitic per se as any other European country. Ask most Jews about Romania, ask them about Hungary, the Hungarian Arrow Cross, people of that sort. This is not to say that anti-Semitism does not exist, did not exist in my time and still continues to exist today, because these old backward habits die very, very, very hard. They die hard, and the fact that anti-Semitism was used as a political tool in 1968, which it undoubtedly was, doesn't reflect on the majority of the Polish population, because this purge of Jews was in fact aimed at everything that was progressive and decent in Polish society at that time. That's my conviction anyway, so I'm not trouble with it.
Right. Okay, there you go.
Sorry, towards the end of your time, Romania under Ceausescu was trying to, in the sort of foreign policy, put that as Warsaw Pact. How did Poland receive Romania?
You're going to have to speak up, old son. He's a big mutton jet.
Romania's foreign policy, I think, was a little bit different from that of... Yes. How was that received in Poland by the authorities?
Ceausescu and his administration were perceived as rogues, I guess. Not villainous types of rogues, but just as deviants from the norm, I suppose. They were the norm. Ceausescu was the deviant. Not well liked. But then again, one thing you discover if you were in Eastern Europe at that time, despite the fact that they all belonged to the Soviet sphere of influence, to the Soviet bloc, old hatreds still continued very, very strongly. I mean, I've yet to meet a Pole who's got a good thing to say about the Czechs. The Czech has got a good thing to say about the Poles, or about the Hungarians, or about the Bulgarians. They all hate each other because, and that's a wild generalisation, which I don't like doing, but at one time or another, each one of those countries is invaded, and nobody's forgotten. It's a bit like the Battle of Boyne, in Central Europe. Nobody's ever forgotten that in the Northern Ireland, and nationalistic feelings are still very strong there. I found this quite depressing that they should continue these attitudes, but that's life. That's what people are.
Thanks. So next question or observation? Yes.
When people ask you your nationality, how do you answer in one word?
My nationality.
He used that very image in the book, in case you can buy it. Good price.
Yeah, lemonade. I mean, too much in there, Hard to say. Sometimes when I hear Polish music, I get a lump in my throat and I want to be back there, sort of thing. But other times, no.
Yes.
Steve, at the last great occasion on which we gathered here, you announced to all those present, and I'm sure I have will vouch for this, that the previous book was to be your last. Are we to have further Melba-esque?
Look, if I can find a publisher, I would be very happy to publish another book next year. It's something I did for my master's thesis, or mini thesis at Monash a few years ago, Robert, you might remember. It was a book of cartoons from the Indonesian press about Australia, from the Australian press about Indonesia. However, it does need updating, and it needs a bit of work on it anyway, but I'm really not prepared to do it all on my own this time, because it's too much of a Herculean enterprise, I think. Take on their own thing. So if there's any publishers' reps here, I'll be happy to talk to them afterwards, and I'll show them the script and all the rest of it. I think it's republishable, but not just yet. So yeah, this will be my last book. And you're invited to the next one. One more request from everybody here. Because this is a self-published book, I need all the publicity I can get. So once you've read this book, write a short review about the book or a letter about the book, whether you like it or you don't like it, if you think there's too much sex or too little sex or too much politics, too little politics. Write a letter to your local paper and give it a bit of oxygen, give it a bit of movement. All right, thank you.
Right, Steve, thank you. And of course, the best way of all to support Steve is, of course, thinking of your friends and enemies. If you like the book, get it to them for Christmas. If you don't, send it to them. In either case, buy multiple copies. So, thank you again, Steve. Thank you particularly, Rod, for your inimitable launch. And thank you for coming. You've been an astonishingly well-behaved audience, despite your age. And we look forward to seeing you here again when Steve does his next book. Thanks for coming. And don't forget, bye.